Right, today we're going to study SD 46.7. That is the Dutta Sutta. Now, I've decided to retranslate Dutta as missioner. Previously it was messenger, which is also part of the meaning. But if you follow the sutta later, you will notice a dutta is someone on a mission. So it's more appropriate to translate it so. Because I also envision a Buddhist missioner, or missionary if you like, as needing to have 8 qualities which this sutta mentions. So Dutta Sutta, the discourse on the missioner, A 8.16. Now this sutta is also found in the Chula Vagga, chapter 7, section 4, subsection 6, or Vinaya, volume 2, page 201. So it shows that this is well known to the Vinaya monks also. The theme is the qualities of a good missioner or counselor. Now, this teaching was given by the Buddha in connection with Sariputta and Moggallana. However, the sutta only mentions Sariputta, but as you know, the two are close friends, so usually when Sariputta is mentioned, Moggallana also is implied. This was the time of the schism, when Devadatta, we are told, tried to take over the Buddha's position. In other words, historically, this teaching is kind of quite late, towards the last few years of the Buddha's life. And Devadatta managed to attract about 500 new monks to follow him. He presented his ideas as quite radical in the sense that he feels that the monks should be vegetarian, they should live under trees and so on, to be quite strict. So some of the younger idealistic monks followed him. So, of course, once they do that, then there is this what's called a schism, because the Buddha already told Devadatta anyway that we don't have to be so strict. I mean, all these rules, it's up to the monk to decide whether they want to keep those kinds of rules or not, those strict rules. So anyway, Devadatta, we are told, had his own way, his own ideas, so he went away with 500 monks and conducted his own Uposatha recital of the Patimokkha and so on. So once they do that within the kind of same parish, that's called a schism. It's like you have, let's say, in Bukit Timah area, it's like constituency. You have this convocation hall, the Uposatha hall. That's the main hall where the monks have their what I call Sangha Karma. They are ecclesiastical acts. In the government, will be a parliamentary act. In every country, there's only one parliament, something like that. So if you like, you can say this Uposatha hall is like a parliament, but it covers a certain parish. It's the parliament of that parish. So maybe Bukit Timah was one parish. It's basically like the political constituencies. So if within the same Bukit Timah you have this monk, they form another Uposatha group and they recite the Vinaya on their own. That is called a schism. So you have 2 separate confessions, if you like. So all these terms apply to early Buddhism. By right, they should be attending the same congregation, the same convocation in that particular Uposatha hall, right? And that's a technicality here. This is the legalism in early Buddhism. So the Buddha instructed Sariputta and Moggallana to visit those monks and coax them to return. And indeed, Sariputta Moggallana went there. It just happened at that time, the Devadatta was very tired. He fell into a deep sleep. And so, Devadatta did see Sariputta Moggallana approaching. So he had this wrong idea that, oh, look, even the two elders are coming to join me, and he's very happy. And he fell into a stupor, he fell asleep basically. And then Sariputta spoke to some of the monks, and Moggallana spoke to another group of monks, each according to their skills. So these monks were convinced, and they decided to follow these two elders back to the Buddha. And that was the occasion. The Buddha was kind of congratulating them and saying, well, these are two wonderful missioners. They have all these qualities, and these are the 8 qualities you should have if you want to be a missioner, a messenger, a counselor. Now, let's look at the sutta now. Page 102, Dutta Sutta, the discourse on the missioner, A8.16. Originating in Savatthi, bhikshus among accomplished in these 8 qualities of one worthy of being a missioner. Let me see, there's a verb missing. Bhikshus among accomplished in these 8 qualities is one worthy of being called a missioner. What are the 8? Okay, so this is the thesis, the introduction. Here, bhikshus, a monk is a listener. Okay, here's a bit of chance to learn Pali. Look at the Pali word sota. Sota means listener. Okay. Now, if you have the word sota, short final vowel, sota, it means ear. Okay, but sota here means listener. So you notice in Pali, just change in the vowel, long and short, the meaning also changes. So let me just go through them, then I will try to explain each of them. He is a listener, sota. He makes one listen, saveta. He is a learner, uggaheta. Now here, learner means basically who is able to learn. This is not the learner who is streamliner and so on. Okay. Number 4, he is a memorizer. It is quite an awkward word. In other words, he has good memory. Since I'm using all the agent nouns ending with the er, so I thought to just follow the flow of the English. So use the word memorizer. One who has a good memory, he remembers things. Number 5, he is a knower, or has a good understanding of things. And then 6, he is an instructor, in other words, able to make others understand. So here again you have another pair here. No? You notice the square brackets. The square brackets here signifies an amplified translation. Amplification, in other words. You don't have to read that. That is to help the teacher and the student to kind of elaborate on the meaning of the keyword. In other words, if you ask, what is it really about, then you look into the square brackets. Right? So it's something extra. But number 6, you see, number 6 also is square brackets. Then number 7, he has skill regarding what is beneficial and what is not. Okay. Then number 8, he is not quarrelsome. Is not quarrelsome. So these are the 8 qualities of a missioner. So here, missioner, like Sariputta Moggallana, can be someone sent by the Buddha, a messenger, and he goes and counsels the monks. So he's also a counselor. And in our own time, it can be someone who is going around teaching the Dharma to a new group of people in a new place, a new country even. So these are 8 qualities that we should have. You can even say these are 8 essential qualities of a good teacher even. But it's more than a teacher here. Here we are trying to persuade people to move out or get out of their wrong ways and to follow proper conduct so that they go nearer to the path. Okay, let's look at each of these 8 qualities. It's on page 103. Among is a listener. Okay, you have another word for listener, that is sāvaka. Sāvaka. Sota, sāvaka, sāveta, they all come from the same root. And the root is shru. In Sanskrit, usually we use the Sanskrit root, shru meaning to hear. Okay? So, of course, some of you may think, wow, what about sotapanna? Right? Is it the same root? This is very interesting. You do have similar sounds, but different roots. Sota, in the case of sotapanna, comes from the root for stream, to flow. Okay, so stream winner, stream entrant is the translation of sotapanna. So it's a different sense altogether. Although some scholars have tried to argue that we can also interpret sotapanna as one who listens to the Dharma and understands the Dharma, and then on account of that, he's able to follow, and then he goes down the path. It's possible as an explanation. But if you look at the Okanta Sangyutta chapter 25, right? You find that chapter is very clear. Okanta Wagga. And Okanta refers to, is a special verb meaning to embark onto a boat. Here is a small boat, so the boat is kind of like at a lower level than the bank or the pier. So the passenger embarks, goes down into the boat. Okanta means just that, to go down to the boat. And then flow, paddle, or go upstream, against the stream. So from that whole chapter we know sota, in this case, in sotapanna, refers to stream. So it's a different root altogether. Whereas here, sota meaning to listen. Here is the idea of listening, a good listener. Where sāvaka is almost a technical term referring to one who listens to the Buddha and who has attained at least stream winning. So they are either learners or non-learners. They are either seka or aseka. They are all on the path. They are saints. So these are called the sravakas. Okay. So the sravaka is not mentioned here. So sotas, yes, means this action of paying attention, listening in a disarming way, in an open, embracing way, in other words. So you find that if you go for monastic training, or even if you are trained by monks or trainers who know the Dhamma well, they will tell you, okay, when you're talking to people, you should sit. You could sit down in a comfortable way. You may put your hands on your knees if you like, or just in a relaxed way, hands palms together if you like. We never fold our arms, because folding arms is a sign of being protective, secretive, holding back. So we kind of should not do that. We sit in a relaxed, open way, kind of balanced, symmetrical, a bit like the Buddha. And eye contact is very important. And if you cultivate metta in your mind, your face will naturally be kind and gentle, and people can feel comfortable with you. So this is called deep listening. So then you're paying full attention, you're letting this person speak, and you don't only listen to the sound of the words, you also listen to how the words are spoken. You listen to the emotion behind the words. Sometimes people may say something but they mean something else, or there are other things which are left unsaid. So you listen to things said, and you also note what is unsaid, the silence in between. So this is the good listener. And of course, you encourage the person to speak by not interrupting, by saying words to help the person speak out and feel comfortable, and giving kind of encouraging answers whenever necessary to help the person go on speaking until the person is ready to listen from you. In other words, the person has finished talking and now wants to hear from you. Then the second one, he makes others listen. Of course, this is when he has to speak. So he has a commanding presence, if you like. His calmness, by his own virtue. Okay, so he probably he's already a well-known teacher, so people want to listen to him. So all this you need Vinaya training and meditation training. Okay? The Vinaya training tells you how to stand, sit, walk, lie down, basically, all the 4 postures, how to conduct yourself in a proper way. The reason for this is to arouse faith in the lay devotees, to see you as an example of someone who is bodily cultured. But of course, if you are merely bodily cultured, the wise will notice, can see through you if you are not mentally cultured. So that comes with meditation. So if you have meditation, then again you will be mentally cultured, you'll be very calm, and you exude a sense of radiance and peace, what we can call the asaji effect. You can see that presence of peace and comfort. Right? So with that, you are able to make others listen to you. Of course, there are other things you can add in, like this person is a good speaker, he's very convincing, he's smiling, and even occasionally just a gentle laugh. Right? So this is saveta. He makes others listen. Then point 3, he is a learner. Okay, learner. And look at, here I have to put the Pali words because you only have the English here. It can be quite tricky, quite misleading. So some people may think, this is the word seka. But it's not seka here. Seka refers to all the saints short of the Arahat. Streamwinner, once returner, non-returner, those are the learners. But here, learner, the Pali word is uggaheta. Okay, so this comes from the word to grasp, to learn. So here, meaning this missioner, he observes the situation and he learns what's going on. He learns human nature. He learns the real situation. He learns the conditions that bring about the problem. He learns what the complainant or what the group is trying to say. So he learns from the situation before him on the spot, so that he knows what to do. So, in slang we say he is savvy. He understands what's going on before him. So he's a quick learner in that sense. Number 4, he is a memorizer. He has a good memory. Now here, dareta means just that, one who remembers things. This is very important in counseling because someone tells you things, you have to remember all those facts, and you mentally kind of put them together and try to form a big picture, clearer picture. So here you remember all the things spoken by the other party. Of course, this is probably a very common and important training in the legal profession also. You need to remember all this, the situation well. And also here, memory includes you know the Dharma well. Because if you do not know the Dharma, then it can be very difficult to counsel others, to teach others. So you know the Dharma well, you know the Vinaya well enough at least, and you know, of course for laymen, you know the 5 precepts well enough, and you know some meditation. You may not be a meditation instructor, but at least you know what meditation is from your own experience. So you are a well-rounded teacher, in other words. So you have the memorizer here. And then number 5, he is a knower. Here you can notice, if I just translate, he's a knower, and the Pali is vinyata, it's quite really difficult to know because it's so broad, this word. So you have the amplification. He has a good understanding of things. All right, so number 4 is something like theoretical knowledge, he knows what's going on. And number 5 just now, number 5, he understands the significance of the situation. Where is this going? What's really going on? Why are they feeling this way? All right. So it's like the second noble truth, if you like, the conditions from which all these things arise, and significance of what has transpired. So he understands the situation. He has a good understanding, right? Vinyata. And then number 6, he is an instructor. Here again, if you just use the word instructor, it's quite broad. The Pali word is vinyapeta, right? It's quite a lot of Pali, interesting Pali to learn here, noticing how the word uses in a causative way and so on. So here the Amplified Translation says, able to make others understand, right? So in other words, here we see this missioner or this messenger or this counselor is able to explain to the other party what really is going on here. Cause effects, the significance of all this thing that's going on, and to inspire them to follow the right way, the purpose of being a Buddhist, the purpose of being a monk, and so on. So this is the vinyapeta. Then point 7, he is skilled regarding what is beneficial and what is not. Kusala sahita sahitasa. Okay. Here kusala means skill in the general sense of the word, skill. Sahita meaning something wholesome, something good. Then asahita, the opposite, good and bad if you like. So here the missioner is able to show, you might say, the effects of certain things. If you do this, if you go on doing this, what will happen? What are the negative consequences? On the other hand, if you do this, what are the positive consequences? And the other party is able to understand, able to accept it. So this is the meaning here. So basically it's a good arbitrator, a good negotiator, a good teacher, and he's very good in convincing, persuading people in the right way. So this is the one skill regarding what is beneficial, what is not. Basically, such a person would remind the other party what are called the basic ideas, the basic questions. What are we here for? What is the Buddhist training really about? I mean, you are monks, so what does it mean to be a monk, and so on. Then number 8 is a special one. He is not quarrelsome, right? So of course you end up quarreling with a group, you won't be able to convince them, right? So you will not respond to negative reactions, to a hostile crowd. You learn to be very calm. So you're a good negotiator. The Pali word says na kalaha karaka. Na means not. Kalaha means quarrel. Karaka can translate as maker, initiator. Here, in other words, you do not start quarrels. Okay. So we can translate it broadly as not quarrelsome, which includes not starting any quarrels. Right? So in fact, you go there. Sariputta Moggallana went to see these 500 monks to appease them, to inspire them, to persuade them to come back to the main fold. Of course, once all the 500 monks come back, there's only Devadatta left with his lieutenant Kokalika. So there are only 2 of them, so two persons cannot start a schism. Okay. All right, so these are the 8 qualities, and then the Buddha says in section 3, Bhikshus, Sariputta is accomplished in these 8 qualities of one worthy of a missioner. And what are the 8? And then the Buddha repeats them. Here, Bhikshu Sariputta is a listener. He is able to make others listen. He is a learner, or you might say he's a quick learner. He is a memorizer, or he's a good memorizer. He remembers things well. He is a knower. He understands things, understands consequences, implications, significance. Number 6, he is an instructor. Number 7, he is skilled regarding what is beneficial and what is not. And number 8, he is not quarrelsome. Bhikshus, Sariputta is accomplished in these 8 qualities of one worthy of a missioner. Then the Buddha closes with 2 verses. Yo vena Vyadati patva parisang ugga vadinang nacha hapeti vachanang nacha chadeti sasanang. Who is untroubled before an assembly of fierce disputants? Instead of sharp, I think fierce is better. Fierce disputants, and is not lost for words, nor hides the message. Now let's just read through the 2 verses. Asan didancha bhanati puchito nacha kupati save tadesako bhikkhu duteyang gantung arahati ti. Who speaks without doubt or distinctly. Square brackets, distinctly. And is unshaken when questioned. Such a monk as he indeed is worthy of going on a mission. All right? So there you are. The last line says is worthy going on a mission. Because you can't translate on a message. No? So a mission will sound much better here. All right, let's look at these 2 verses again. Who is untroubled before an assembly? Right. So in other words, he's not nervous. He stands very confident before a crowd, very calm. He looks friendly. And even if the other party are unfriendly, belligerent, or fierce, as the sutta says. The uga, okay, the Pali word here is uga. And he's not lost for words. In other words, he knows just the right things to say. Now, up to now, you can say, well, a politician too should have these qualities. It's very true. But the next line, line 4, nor hides the message, right? So he doesn't hide the message. He's very open. He presents the message clearly, convincingly. Who speaks without doubt, not hesitant, right? Not nervous. He speaks distinctly, very clear, and unshaken when questioned. So he's very calm, because probably very difficult, embarrassing questions will be asked, so he's very calm. And also you can say these are the qualities of a good lawyer too. So here, the last two lines, such a monk as he indeed is worthy of going on a mission. Right? So this is someone who can go around spreading the Dharma. So he's ready, he's very peaceful, very convincing. Right? So we see here there is this very difficult situation. Two senior monks are sent to quell it. The rebel monks are convinced, they come back. It's a very happy occasion. So to celebrate this occasion, the Buddha gives this teaching for our benefit today. Okay? So the sutta ends here. It's a short but significant sutta. In the spirit of the Anguttara, you notice only these 8 conditions are given. So it's up to the skill of the teacher to explain this in detail. And many of these, all of these qualities, in fact, the teachings are found elsewhere in the Samyutta, Majjhima, and Digha Nikaya, and sometimes in the Anguttara itself too. Okay, so we end here for the moment. Any questions or feedback?
Is there any story why Piya speak from the Buddha? Is there a story?
Oh, there are lots of stories from the Theravada scripture. What's interesting is he's a controversial figure. The Theravada don't seem to have a very good view of him, whereas the Mahayana seem to have a more friendly opinion of him. Okay? Basically, I think Devadatta felt that the Buddha should be more strict with the monks. The Buddha was kind of allow certain changes. For example, the Sangha started off with a very simple lifestyle. They just live on alms food. And during the first 10 years, definitely that's what the monks did. They went alms round, they ate. But as the order became more established, they were given land, and these monasteries, huts and buildings were built for them. And then people started bringing food to the monasteries. And then the lay people invited monks to the houses. So in other words, the monks did not beg. Not all the time though. So the Buddha allowed what are called extra benefits, atireka. So this is beyond the normal alms round. Okay? That's one. Okay. So Devadatta was against this. It says monks should not accept any offerings, only collect alms food. Because that's one of the kind of demands he made. We call demands, but the Mahayana may say, "Oh, this is." Devadatta is trying to make the monks remain like the original monks, you know. But the Buddha was kind of a bit more open, so that the lay people are more happy. They could, make their offerings. Of course, there are rules to these offerings. Then monks are meant to originally live under trees, simple dwellings, then later structures were built, huts were built, and so on. So the Buddha allowed certain buildings to be used as monasteries. So here again, Devadatta objected and said, "Oh, why can't we make the rule that monks only live in the open under trees?" And then comes the diet. The Buddha allowed the monks to accept certain kind of food, including meat, as long as they have been prepared. They are from the table, and then it is taken from there and given. And the meat is already available. In other words, the killing was not done because of the monks. But Devadatta said, no, the monks should totally avoid fish and meat. So things like that, there's this set of rules. As to whether Devadatta actually wanted to take over the Sangha or not, only the Theravada tradition mentions that. And so he died a tragic death because of that, because the story goes that he tried to kill the Buddha. Of course, then you have stories of Devadatta. He was the Buddha's cousin. Even when he was young, when they were young, they were like rivals. So that there is a very beautiful story about the swan. Devadatta was a good archer. Of course, Siddhartha also was a good archer. It happened that one day Devadatta shot the swan, beautiful, well, I wouldn't say swan, a goose, this Indian goose flying, it's called Hangsa. So it's just flying in the sky and was shot, but the wing was hurt. So the goose didn't die, so it fell near Siddhartha's feet. So Siddhartha nursed this goose, saved its life. Then here comes Devadatta, the story goes, and this young cousin, they probably were teenagers. Devadatta asked Siddhartha, said, you got to hand me over this goose. I shot the goose, it's my goose. Okay? But the Siddhartha replies, sorry, I can't give this goose back to you because you tried to kill it. If it had died, it belongs to you, but I gave it back its life, so it's not yours. So you have this kind of confrontation even when they were young. But the irony is, apparently, according to one version, the Siddhartha married Devadatta's sister. Yashodhara is the Devadatta's sister, so they're quite closely knit in that way. So these are some of the stories. So they were kind of cousins, but he's from another clan. Any other question or feedback?
This split, was it early the Buddha's life or later life?
The stories?
I mean the split.
Oh, the split was, I think, later when the Buddha was old. According to Theravada accounts, Devadatta probably must be very much younger than the Buddha, so he thought that the Buddha is getting old and they should have a new leader. But the Buddha's idea, he says that the Sangha should not have a single leader. It should be constitutional. The Patimokkha and the Dhamma will act as the constitution for the whole Sangha. The Sangha can still govern itself with these elders, council of elders, and they can make use of the Vinaya and the Dhamma for whatever purposes, legal as well as spiritual. Whereas Devadatta felt that he should take over the Buddha's place. And the Buddha says, well, I'm not even giving the reins of power to Sariputta and Moggallana. Why should I give it to you? So this is one of the accounts. So the story goes that Devadatta was not too happy with that. This probably happened during the last, I would say, generally speaking, the last 10 years, maybe last 5 years even, with the Buddha's life.
Who is Kokalika?
Oh, that is Devadatta's lieutenant, his assistant,
In this page 95, the last one, the Buddha and his disciples. have the Buddha's bad karma.
What number is it?
Page 95.
Yeah, the section number?
No, at the bottom of the page.
Oh, okay, yes. The footnote 4, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
The Buddha and his disciples.
Yeah.
The Buddha's bad karma.
Oh, okay. I've written a book, Buddha and His Disciples, available online. You can download it. There is a very interesting document called the Puba Karma Pilotika, the remnants of the Buddha's past karma. And this very interesting document lists a number of bad karma which the Buddha did as a layman, long past lives, many past lives ago. For example, in one case, he was a doctor, and then this person couldn't pay the fees, and then he kind of gave some bad medicine to this patient, and the patient hurt himself. And on account of that, the bad karma ripened in this life. The Buddha had a terrible headache on one occasion. But again, these are very late stories. They're not really canonical. The Buddha was standing in the hot sun because his relatives were going to be attacked by this young prince who wanted to take revenge on the Sakyas. So he stood on the side of the bank where the leaves are very few. See? So the sun was, for 3 days he did that, so the sun was shining on his head and he got a headache. So we can say the present condition is he stood in the hot sun. See? But the storytellers, I think in the Apadana, said that the reason why he has to suffer the headache also in the past, he did. But of course you can see a convenient connection, right? He has a headache. And there were a few other things, like that the Buddha hurt his toe and it bled, things like that. So there are stories connecting all this. So you can read up this in this chapter, or this chapter 7.9. There's a list of them there. Anything else?
No.
No from you. Okay. First time you actually ask a question, no? Sort of. All right. So no more. Finish. Let us close for today. Yeah. Today I've got no car, so I have to go back by myself too. All right. Okay. Let us spend a short moment reflecting for today. Today's lesson is about how to be a good missioner, to have the skills of a good teacher, to communicate the Dharma to others, to inspire them, to heal situations, to inspire people. Basically, the Dharma is to bring joy to others and conciliation. Reflecting in this way is good karma, but the power of such good karma, but the power of the three jewels. May we be blessed with good health, happiness, and the wisdom and the courage to aspire to at least stream winning in this life itself. And also by the power of the three jewels, may our relatives be well and happy, our families and friends too. And those who are practicing the Dharma, may they reach their goal in this life too. And finally, by the power of the three jewels, may those who have difficulties with the teaching, who are lost, may they too see the true teaching, the true path in this life itself. May all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.